Hello again, everyone. Some of the sharp-eyed amongst you may notice that I've got a different work surface here. What I had been using previously was a shelf, in fact, from the kitchen that I had fitted a couple of years ago, and it was slightly damaged on one side or something, so it was put to be thrown away. And so I thought it would be an ideal surface for me to work on. However, having worked on it for quite some time and been doing a lot of messy things with mica powders and gesso and goodness knows what, the surface was getting a little grubby looking. Although it was clean, I'd cleaned it with alcohol. I use isopropyl alcohol as a cleaner to remove stains, but it was still looking a bit grubby. So I thought, I wonder whether the kitchen company, the kitchen fitting company that I bought my last two kitchens from, would have any offcuts. So I called them up and asked the question, went round yesterday, picked up a couple. So this one actually has got a bit of texture in the surface, so I don't know if it'll clean up quite as much. But why I wanted that was so that there wouldn't be a reflection of my light. So anyway, that's that out of the way. So if anybody needs a work surface, think about kitchen fitters. This one was just going to go in the bin. He gave me two like this, so you know it's worth asking the question. So having looked around in my supply of cards, I realised I have been most remiss in making Christmas cards this year, and the time is coming when November tomorrow. I'm going to have to start thinking about posting some cards that go, long distance. So I thought, what can I do that is going to be quick to make, large enough and flat enough for me to insert a letter. I send a Christmas letter to lots of friends and family. So I look through my dies, and what I've got here are a whole bunch of, these are aperture dies, mainly from German companies. I'm not sure of this one. I thought I'd written on the back. It's either Charlie and Paulchen or Creative Depot. This one is a Creative Depot, so is that. And they are aperture dies. What that means is they will make a hole in a panel like this, with the design joined to the edge. So I thought to myself, I want to be quick. I'm not going to make a whole front panel, which is why I've cut this down. What I've got here are the offcuts from when I make a square card from a sheet of A4. So that is cut from the side like that. So those are the panels that I can use to make all sorts of die cuts. I can stamp sentiments on and all that kind of stuff. So I've got a whole bunch here. 1, 2, 3, about 9, I think. About 9 card bases. So I started off just to see what I could do. A mat, a piece of card, and I've got out various squares that I thought I could surround these with, really being mean, cutting down the amount of card that I use. So kind of just let's see where we go. Some of the, I don't know the make of this one. I don't recall. So what I thought I could do is put some of these on here like this. These are just nesting dies, you see. So I'll just pop some in. Have one of the bigger ones. Let's watch about, there's a snowflake here. Let's try a snowflake. I could probably cut 6 at once, but I think that might be pushing it a bit. But if you want to, let's try it. Let's try it. I might tape them down because I'll need some more squares. So these are little pierced dies. These are my favourite thing. So let's just pop them all in. I'm not sure how these will work because sometimes dies are just marginally different thicknesses if they're made by different companies. So let's just see how we go. One of these ones would have been nice. Oh no, they're stitched, but it doesn't matter. We'll try. That look okay? That's kind of close, but I think it might be okay. Let's try. Just take a look. That's fine. I have to push those little pieces out. Right, that one's fine. Okay, well, here are my 6 little die cuts that I just put through all in one go. I've popped out all the little bits of, you know, the extraneous bits and popped those into the bin. This one, I was thinking was an actual aperture die, but it's one in its own right. If you look closely, you can see there are 2 lines going around, which is why I got that. But there, I can pop that back in if I want to. And my idea is that I'll just put a little bit of something behind, and each of these can go as a feature in the centre of a clean and simple card like this. So let's just see. I mean, I am doing this for speed, a little bit of sort of design kind of thing, but, you know, more for speed than anything else really. So here I've got some of the bleeding tissue backgrounds that I did some time ago. So if we look at this, have some blue behind. We've got, these are the Charlie and Paulchen ones. I think you could do that, you see. Just have it, looks like a hillside and a bit of sky. That can be just sky. This one, again, perhaps a bit of hillside and a bit of sky, and, you know, a bit of sky. So I'm just going to put some of these behind, and I will make a very quick set of cards. That was one lot of die through the die. That was another one through the die with a square and one of these aperture dies in the middle. Do have a look out for them. I say, the German companies, this one particularly, I do find particularly difficult, Creative Depot, to find things that I want. If I put a search in, the way that I found that works best is to, I don't speak German, is to look up what the word is in German for what I'm wanting to look for and put that in. I find that is a much better way of getting more hits on the search than if I just put it in, you know, had the site in the English mode and then put my English word in. So, I mean, there are 2 ways of doing it, but I've tried it both ways, and I find that looking up what the German word is more productive than, say, using the English translation of the site and then putting an English word in. I hope that's clear. So I will just pop some things behind some of these, and then I'm going to pop them onto one of my cards. I just think, you know, to me, I just think it's timeless, really. If you wanted to, you could just cut a few extra squares and have a backing, which would make it look even more special. So if I had this one, for example, that's one of these. That's that one. If I cut a larger one from here and just pop that on, let me just show you what I mean. If you don't have all these square dies, you can just chop your offcuts into squares. But I actually prefer, personally, I prefer the look of a die cut edge rather than a trimmed one. So let's just finish one of these. Have that onto there and then onto my card. And then I'm going to leave the rest to your imagination, really. Let's just choose a piece from here. Where should we go? That's quite nice, isn't it? See, that would look almost like an array. I'll just cut a little piece off. There's a little bit of card needs poking out. I thought I'd got them all out, but there we go. That was that. That's another one. I'm not, as I say, I'm not sure of the make of this. Is that the way I had it? Or was that the way I had it? No, it was there. Just cut a bit more off the bottom. Tiny sliver off this side. Right, now stick that on. That onto there. And there's a really rather special Christmas card. I'll just stick it, I'm just going to stick it with glue now. So there we are, perfectly clean and simple, very quick Christmas card that you can make a batch of like this. All I've got to do is pop a little bit of colour behind these onto a card and I'm done. So I hope you think that they're kind of worth it. What I might do is just pop them all together. I've got my card bases there ready cut some more if necessary, and I'll put them into a reel, and then you'll be able to see them either on Instagram or on my Facebook page. So there we go. Really quick batch Christmas cards using offcuts and a few tiny dies. So do watch out for some of these aperture dies. I say mainly German companies, I think, but you may be able to pick some up, you know, on eBay or whatever. I haven't actually seen any on Amazon, I must confess. So there we go. Very quick. I will now assemble and I'll put a few pictures at the end of the video. Well, I'm down to my last little panel. I've popped these together. Just a small piece of the bleeding tissue paper behind the front panel, a small, another die cut behind just to frame it a little bit, and it's kind of done. So I'll just finish off, do this last one. So all I've been doing is, as you can see, I've been going around my piece of paper looking for somewhere to arrange these things. So I think that would go quite nicely there. Would it go there? Not quite so much, because there's a bit more interference, isn't there? So if I just cut this, as I have been doing, snip a piece out, and just stick it on the back. Okay. Back like that. Now this one is quite a large little square. To get a surround from this one is kind of difficult. So all I'm going to do is cut that to a square on my little guillotine. So I measured the width of the card, which came to just underneath that, before that mark there. So if I cut just before that mark there as well, I should finish up with a square. to which we can attach our little die cut. Let's just take a look. And that is fine. So we'll just glue this one down. What I often do if I don't like a cut edge like that is just simply to go around it with an embossing tool like this. Just rounds over that edge, making it look a little more like a die cut edge rather than a trimmer edge. So this is going to go onto the last card base that I folded this morning. And I've got now 9 more Christmas cards made in a very, very short time. So, and these ones are still nice and thin, so I could put my Christmas letter folded inside. So there we go. Batch card making really quickly using these little tiny aperture dies. So thanks for joining me once more. Thanks for giving a thumbs up and checking your subscriptions, and do come back and see me very soon.